For my sustainability project, I created a compost for my food and paper waste. I made a promise to myself to live more sustainably a few years ago by going vegetarian, beginning a personal kitchen garden, and sincerely trying to just reduce my waste. While I think those are all great strides for sustainability, I have noticed in the process that the majority of the waste in my house is simply food or paper waste, both of which can be composted. I would say over 95% of my food can be composted because I do not eat meat and I only occasionally consume dairy. While this project has taken well over 4 hours, I don't personally mind because I intended to build it anyway and think this is a fantastic opportunity to combine my academia with my personal life, which is what I believe environmental science and sustainability encourages. My specific goal for this project was to significantly reduce my food and recyclable waste. As I mentioned before, I significantly reduced my waste already in the last few years, so I don't necessarily feel like I have an issue with an excessive amount of plastic in my house. However, I have noticed that I do tend to waste an inexcusable amount of paper, cardboard, and food waste. Even though I do not usually let my food go bad, I do throw out the ends of vegetables and fruits after cooking, and that really adds up when I'm typically cooking every meal and am vegetarian. In the process of building my compost, I started setting aside all of my food waste in paper bags, and I had 2 or 3 almost filled in the few weeks that it took to build my compost. I think people tend to forget about their food waste when they think about sustainability. Still, food waste, coupled with the fact that recycling is not as effective as it seems, are major detrimental components for the environment. I only have myself and my partner in my household, so I can't imagine the food waste that a large household can accumulate. Food waste is such a significant element for sustainability. If I'm not mistaken, about 30% of the land that is dedicated to food is wasted and costs the world $900 billion each year. I think my favorite part about this project was incorporating it into other parts of my daily life to make an environmental impact. For instance, I started collecting the food waste from my mom's household, which had 4 people, and my dad's that also had 4 people. Also, the chef at my restaurant where I work gave me his vegetable waste on Sundays. I do not really go out of my way to do any of this, and yet I'm contributing not only to my compost, but also reducing a significant amount of waste in the community. Food waste is such a problem for everyone on our planet and is draining resources, money, and clean air from us. 1.3 billion tons of food is wasted each year, and the average American wastes more than their body weight in food each year. I find it troubling that a fourth of the food wasted could feed almost 800 million malnourished people in the world. I think there is an unnecessary amount of value placed on the appearance of food as well, and it concerns me that over half the food is thrown away even before reaching the market because it's ugly. I think the most effective thing we can do at an individual level is to compost our food and paper waste. However, because I fear the majority of people will not do so voluntarily, creating mandatory ordinances for recycling and composting would be ideal. Many cities such as San Francisco, Seattle, and Portland have adopted this policy, and in the process they have reduced their waste going to landfills and are feeding the soil, giving back to Earth. Composting allows us to give back to our planet and the soil that feeds us. It helps return the nutrients to the soil and fosters the growth of microorganisms, insects, earthworms, and encourages the growth of new plants. I think that everyone should consider composting. It doesn't have to be as difficult as the one I built. Anyone can make one at home from household items. For instance, you can build one from an old trash can or any bin with a lid by simply drilling holes into the sides to allow airflow. After that, you need a ratio of browns, which would consist of dead leaves, branches, paper, cardboard, greens, which is grass, veggies, fruit, coffee, eggshells, and you also need water. The browns provide carbon, while the greens provide nitrogen, and the water just breaks down the materials in the process. Because food and paper waste make up about 30% of what we throw out, we could all make a significantly positive impact on our planet by composting.